Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this podcast. And it is G1 Day. It's
You
finally here.
you actually timed that perfectly to perfection. For the first time when we do, like, since we've done these Skypes, the timing seems a bit off when because obviously you start the show, so I'm recording from the Skype, so you don't know when to come in, and I don't want to be on screen then being like, oh, come in. So you timed that to perfection. Well done.
Thank you. I'm like the Randy Orton of Skype podcasts. It's timing perfectly. But no, I'm cool. We've kind of fucked it up now that we've gone on a big massive tangent. But okay.
Tangents is what we do.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah. Speaking of tangents,
no, so here we are, G1. It doesn't seem too long since the last one, probably because the fucking tournament takes half a year to finish anyway. But
it is probably the most grueling tour of any wrestling company in the world, probably.
Yeah, it is, like,
because like you're having your block matches, so you wrestle your block matches, which are like probably your 9 best matches of the year, and then on top of it, it's not like you get rest days. The days you're not wrestling your block matches, you're wrestling tag matches. Which
they can't, like, I know you're still out there in the ring, but like a 6-man tag there's a hell of a lot difference.
I know, but I'm saying you're still taking bumps and stuff, and
you are, yeah, but a lot less, and I suppose,
Yeah, still have to be on form, so it's like there's no rest. There's no real rest. I mean, in fairness, there is a rest today, because for the first time ever, the G1 is taking place outside of Japan. The first night is in the American Airlines Center in Dallas.
They usually do like an opener G1 in America, but they never started the actual tournament off in America. Yeah,
they do like a G1 special or something where it's kind of sort of like a pay-per-view, just like maybe like 2 weeks before the show or before the tournament starts.
But it's actually kicking off tonight.
Yeah, in America for the first time, and that's why it's kind of breaking up the tournament, because it's happening. It's the first night is tonight. The first night of Block A is tonight, and then there's a
night of recording now, so this might come out for another day. So, like, if you're listening from when we come out, it was last night. Time of recording, it's out tonight. So that's why we're not going to go through tonight's card per se, because obviously it'll be dated by the time we get it out tomorrow. So so what we're going to do is we're going to do an entire preview. We will, yeah. But we're going to do an entire preview of the card, or of the tournament itself.
The tournament, in full. But there's a bit of a break. There's like I don't know. I think it's a week.
It's Saturday to Saturday. I checked that.
Yeah.
So tonight, and then next week is Block 2 or Block B.
So they can all fly back to Japan, and
it takes them a week to fly back to Japan.
Well, like, I mean, it has to be jet lagged. Fuck, like they're flying from Dallas to Tokyo.
Well, if you ask Hulk Hogan, he used to 2 times a day.
You can fly from Japan to America.
Yeah, he once claimed he wrestled back in time. So he claimed that he wrestled on like the 22nd of July, let's say, and he flew back, and it was like the time difference changed, so he wrestled on like the 21st of July back in America. He once claimed that.
Yeah, that's Hulk Hogan in a nutshell, really. Hulk Hogan's so good he can actually time travel.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting one. Is there before we get into the actual G1 itself, do you have any news you want to discuss regarding anything outside of Japan? Because it's gonna be a very Japanese heavy podcast here.
Well, I suppose the biggest thing coming out of this week is we had the first Raw of the Heyman era this week.
Oh boy, did we!
And it was eventful. If nothing else, it was eventful.
They said Paul, like, I thought you said that he was going to be like eased in. This show seemed as if I was back in 1996 watching fucking ECW.
Well, I read that he didn't have as much to do as he will have in due course.
What the hell what the hell is that going to look like?
Apparently, I read that he was only responsible for 2 segments on Raw. One was the opener between Strowman and Lashley,
which I liked.
That whole thing was his idea.
Yeah.
And the second was the Mike Maria Kanellis angle,
which for some reason people didn't like, but I liked, because there's a lot of possibilities with it. I see, like, people like Brian Alvarez. Brian Alvarez was like the most notable person that came out and criticized it and said, "Oh, they've buried Mike Kanellis." But like, they're the same people that are out there being like, "Oh, he needs to change his character." But like, to change your character and for it to make sense, your character has to reach a breaking point. And like, if this could be his breaking point, so you have to like get him to the lowest of the low to rebuild the character, because you can't just turn up on Raw for no reason and just be, "Oh, I'm Mike Bennett now, I'm going to start kicking ass." That makes no sense, and that's what Raw's been doing. That's what people have been complaining about. At least now, I don't know if that's the way they're going, but at least it's a possibility that this could be the kick in the arse kayfabe in terms that Mike Kanellis needs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, literally, all we can do is sit and wait and hope to God that it turns out okay. I mean, like, say what you want about it, whether you're a fan or you're not, it's intriguing.
I'd say see how it plays out. I hate when people jump to conclusion. Like, like the way I see it is, you could easily turn this into a story where, like, Maria will be like, "Oh, my baby needs a man in their life," and then Mike Kanellis will be like, "Okay, if you need a man, I'll be this fucking psycho man." Change his name back from Kanellis to Bennett, or give him a different name, and then have him go on like a tear trying to prove that how manly he is, have him injure people. You know, like, this could easily be a turning point in Mike Kanellis' career, but people are only focusing on the fact that, "Oh, he's being buried."
You know what I just thought of?
What?
It's like, yeah, you could do that and you can make it good and stuff, or you could make this a complete dumpster fire by having him come out next week as Macho Man Mike Kanellis and just Randy Savage cosplay.
I would imagine that that's the way they were going, but because Paul Heyman is involved, I would imagine if that makes air on TV, he will no longer be involved, because he'll be held in contempt after strangling Vince McMahon to death. So,
well, actually, speaking of Vince, his reaction has come out as to what he thought of Raw this week, and apparently he was really pleased. He was he liked the tone, the timing, as in the pacing. Sorry, the pacing, better word, and the essence of Raw this week for some reason. A strange word.
I liked it as well. I like it's strange to put your finger on it, but like,
it's a lot better than what they've been producing the last few weeks.
Yeah, it's a bit, but it's kind of, you talked last week about Eric Bischoff and how he said that Raw was too perfect, like it's too PC kind of.
He said WWE in general was too.
Yeah, well, yeah, but Raw is the flagship programming, and I'm assuming he's referring to at least that, if not more shows. But I'm just saying, like, for Raw, in a sense, like, Raw was too perfect. There was no kind of mistakes. It didn't feel like anything could happen at any time. And like, at the first few minutes, you had Corey Graves swear on camera, which I don't know if he was fed the line. I don't know, but at least, yeah, I think he was too. But like, at least that's something. You know, they can turn to, if the networks get mad, you can try and say to them, like, "Oh, that came out accidentally" and all that. I think he was fed the line. But I think there
was too long of a gap for like, there was like a 10-second pause, and then he said it, like, you know, I mean.
Yeah, I think it's a good sign that, like, they're not tiptoeing around the network's parameters and they're trying to go push the envelope again. I think that set the tone for the rest of the night, that you were like, "Oh, hold on now, anything could happen here." And like, the actual segment was cool as well.
Yeah. I saw as well that that WB, like, obviously they had that incident of Corey swearing on Raw, and then on SmackDown you had Kofi Kingston flipping Samoa Joe the Bird.
Yep.
And like people were like, what is going on? Apparently the ratings are like at an all-time low for teenagers and young adults.
Yeah, I saw Meltzer say that it was the teenage demographic is like lower now than it is ever, which doesn't surprise me.
So they want to make it a bit edgier to appeal to that kind of an audience.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And like people are like, oh, what about sponsors and stuff for children and stuff? And they're kind of like, look, WWE, that's all well and good, but WWE can get sponsors for other companies, to appeal to teenagers.
Their most profitable to this day, their most profitable years were 98, 99, and like no kids groups were trying to sponsor with them then because no one wanted to be seen next to Steve Austin or fucking whoever, Mae Young, like giving birth to hands and all that. Like they did pretty well with sponsors at that time. Different sponsors, but like these kid-friendly companies are not the only sponsors out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like it's there's no harm in doing it. I didn't really care that much about the PG era. The last few years, I did it first when I first transitioned because it was a massive culture shock. It was a massive.
It was a huge difference.
Yeah. But as I grew accustomed to it and stuff, I was like, it's not that bad, you get over it. But I
eventually warmed to Cena. Eventually. Yeah.
But, but there's no harm having a little bit of grime in there, like having a little bit of what would you call it? Just roughness, ruggedness, just to break up the show, just to make it feel.
It's live TV. You should have an element of anything can happen here, which Raw for a long time didn't because it was too perfect.
Yeah, it's true actually. Yeah, you forget it's live TV actually.
Yeah, so I think it's good. I think it was a better tone, and ratings were up. So obviously they were up from I think it was 2.4 last week to 2.6.
Yeah,
this week. Which is good. Now that was just probably curiosity of people seeing what Heyman can do. The telling point now will be what will be the rating next week once they've seen the show and what Heyman started off with.
Yeah,
I think it could increase again because I think a lot of people have been high about it this week. So a lot of people who didn't watch this week will be more inclined to be, I heard it was good last week, so I'll watch it this week. So I think ratings will be up again, hopefully.
And plus it's a go home. It's the go home show for Extreme Rules this week as well. So they tend to be up. I
don't even think people know Extreme Rules is happening though.
Yeah, I keep forgetting, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't know it was this close. I didn't know Monday was the go home show.
Yeah, it's tomorrow week. This day week is Fight for the Fallen, and tomorrow week is Extreme Rules. So there's a heap. Wrestling tomorrow or next week. Also, it's worth noting as well that Eric Bischoff did not start on SmackDown this week. He will be starting after Extreme Rules, is what I heard. So
it's what I've heard as well. So
the following Tuesday.
And I think that's good to space them out.
It's a good one to start out because it's just after a pay-per-view. So I think it's
a fresh start.
Yeah. Hopefully, anyway.
I think I'll get into it next week about what I think SmackDown will look like once Eric Bischoff starts. But because I have a thing regarding Extreme Rules in that, so I'll get into that next week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Fair enough. Other news as well this week that I literally saw today is Triple H is no longer in charge of 205 Live.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, he's no longer in charge of 205 Live. I'll get you the name of the guy. Oh, I remember. The new guy in charge of 205 Live is Adam Pearce, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion Adam Pearce.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So it looks like Triple H is too busy to also do that. So
and it's probably better for I think as far as I can gather now that Heyman and Bischoff are there, I think Triple H will have a lesser role on the Raws and SmackDowns, which means he probably won't be at most TVs now for him to produce 205 Live anyway. So like it's probably better for him to stay in Orlando or wherever he is, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Where does he live? Does he live in Orlando or Connecticut? He lives in Connecticut, doesn't he?
Connecticut, I think, yeah.
And then, or the PC's down in Orlando.
Yeah. But I think there are talks that 205 Live is going to be dissolved.
I saw that too. Yeah. I wouldn't.
I hope not.
I hope not either, because like it's getting better. I don't watch it week to week, but like
since Triple H took over the show and since Enzo Amore got sacked, it's been fairly decent. Like,
yeah, and it's produced good wrestlers. Like I just don't see what they would do with the likes of Tony Nese, or do they just let them all go? Which is strange then, because you're letting AEW pick from the litter there, because there's a lot of good talent on 205 Live that AEW would happily use.
I reckon they'd keep some around. I think they'd keep the likes of Gulak, Tozawa, Nese, and they'd probably let go the likes of Mario Davari, Jack Gallagher. Well, they probably move Jack Gallagher from UK.
Yeah, they're already starting to do that, as far as I know.
Are they?
He's wrestled a couple of times on NXT UK. But I would imagine, now I don't know for sure, but I would imagine that there's some clause in their contract that if 205 Live dissolved, then that would like breach their contract. I don't know. I would imagine that it would. But
yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I can't think of any other news. Trying
to think. There's nothing that comes to mind. Regarding
WWE teased Sting versus The Undertaker today.
I saw that.
And it's since been revealed what it is. There's a new special coming to the network called WWE Reimagined, and it's no one knows what it is. They haven't revealed what it is, like what the actual show will be. But they released a video package, and it was like kind of like a hype package for like a WrestleMania match between Sting and The Undertaker, and like it was Ministry of Darkness Undertaker, like throughout the whole video, and like WCW versus WCW Crow Sting, like prop like 2000 era Sting, and like it was just it was weird. Like it was Undertaker cutting an old promo from 1997, and Sting just a bunch of shots of Sting doing his entrance and whatever, and then it came up WWE Reimagined. So I don't know, is it like kind of like a fantasy booking thing, or if it's like a lot of people theorizing that it's going to be a new edition on WWE 2K20, that it's going to be like a dream match mode that for matches that never happened, quote unquote.
That would be cool. I think that would be an interesting mode. Like you could introduce into the game as well, where you play out an actual story of, let's say, a Sting and Undertaker feud, or as like any dream match out there, Austin Hogan, and play it out as if like it was going to happen with the two of them in their prime. You know, maybe like redo an invasion or something like that. You know.
Yeah, it'd definitely be cool. I mean, I can't wait to see what it is. I mean, it got everyone's attention straight away, because they're all like, they have another Saudi Arabia show in November, so
they'll
need an event.
There's two. So one is two more news I want to talk about. One was Booker T. I don't know if you heard this. Was pulled from Starcast. Yeah.
I saw it.
So nothing really new there. Like he's a WWE contracted performer. Kind of makes sense in WWE's end.
I know why he took the booking.
See, I think it was Booker's fault, because his contract is weird, because he owns Reality Wrestling as well, so like he's kind of independent, but he's still a WWE employee, and it's different. And they've allowed certain WWE employees like do it last time, like Bruce Pritchard did it and stuff like that. So they're just iffy as to who they want doing it and who they don't. It's very, very strange. And the other one is it looks like Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows have re-signed.
Yeah, that I saw that.
Apparently for like
big
almost
money.
Double what they were making, which is it goes in line with what other people have claimed. Some like people like Rhino and stuff have claimed that WWE offered them double his salary to stay and possibly not go to AEW. So
you know what? If Gallows and Anderson left, right? So if they hadn't resigned, say, and left the company, I don't think they would have gone to AEW. I think they would.
I think they went back to Japan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, it depends. Then you don't know what. I'd say they would have wanted to go back to Japan, but like I would reckon as well, AEW could offer them a deal where they would allow them to work in Japan, which could favor them that way too.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's only hearsay now because they're re-signed with WWE.
Yeah, for 5 years as well. They've signed 5-year contracts.
Yeah, they're loving their 5-year contracts at the moment. WWE.
Yeah, it's a minimum now you can sign for, I think.
They offer, or they gave to Mike and Marie Kanellis, which means they can have 5 more babies now. And can reap all that maternity money. I don't get like.
Kevin Owens signed a contract last year.
Yeah, but I just want to touch on that Mike and Maria situation. Right? I get why it's frustrating for people. I get why it would be frustrating for people within the company, but I don't get fans who are like, "Oh, you can't have a baby." Like it's none of your business. Like, I get why Vince would be annoyed. I get why the officials at WWE would be annoyed, but like. It doesn't affect my life whether Maria Kanellis is pregnant or not. Like, I don't get why fans are giving them shit about it, you know? I would understand why.
I'd love to know what would happen. I'd love to know what would happen if, like, Becky Lynch got pregnant or something.
Oh, that baby would be champion within 6 months. They would create a toddlers division with that baby, King Maxwell, Nicholas would still qualify.
Yeah, a juvenile division.
Yeah, an under 15 division.
Yeah. There's like age groups. It's like the GA now or something. It's like age groups. It's like under 16s, under 17s.
Yeah.
Or senior.
See, minor. Like, do you reckon Vince is like pushing them to have a baby and like yeah, so like he can just breed it in the performance center. And just create a monster.
Like, I don't know how long Becky and Seth have been going out. I really don't. It's not something I'm that interested in, really.
Well, if you think back, it's not that long because when Becky got injured, her ex-boyfriend tweeting Nia Jax when Nia Jax broke Becky's nose, which wasn't that long ago.
That was November.
Yeah, and so there you go.
I think they were together at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so it happened in between November and WrestleMania, really.
Yeah, but like I don't know how long they've been together, right? Like, it's obviously not. It's not long. It's not that long. And I read that they're already living together, and like it just seems that like WWE are like, and you know like the minute they made it official when like Seth or Becky, I can't remember who posted that picture.
Seth did.
Yeah,
Seth posted it.
Yeah, put it up on Instagram of them kissing. Like, you know that the floodgates in Vince's brain just opened, and he was like, "We got to push him now to the moon. They're gonna get married in the next 6 months." And
there's going to be a wedding, isn't there?
There's going to be a wedding. There's 100% going to be a wedding.
Elizabeth, will you marry me?
Yeah. See.
I'd love if they had a wedding and like they were opening up presents and like a snake just popped out and Jake Roberts came back Go for one more run.
Match. One more match.
Saudi Arabia, Rollins versus Roberts.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see, actually, there's a match announced for Raw this week, and it's Seth and Becky versus Andrade and Zelina Vega.
Yeah, let's find any pairings of mixed tag teams we can find. There's going to be a third challenge, and they're going to win it.
Yeah, I just want to see Andrade and Seth wrestle. Really, that's all I want.
Yeah,
that'll be.
Going to train Finn Balor's like reporter girlfriend to wrestle, and that's going to be the match next week.
Well, he was.
And then, you get Mike and Maria Kanellis again.
Yeah, Rusev and Lana.
Miz and Maurice. We've been through this already. Yeah,
we did this last week. Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to create a division on it.
Yeah, mixed tag titles.
Woo.
So anyway, they can't even book their regular tag titles properly. They can't handle two divisions.
See, I don't get it. I think we talked about this as well, right? If you're going to have Bischoff and you're going to have Heyman, how is the women's tag titles going to work?
Why?
Because like obviously Heyman's going to run Raw.
Yeah.
Bischoff is going to run SmackDown.
Yeah.
So like if they're two different rosters, and I'm assuming they will become that, you can't have who's going to be in charge of who books the women's tag division, because like, what happens if Heyman wants to put the belts on fucking Sasha and Bailey again, or like,
See, this is what I said. We did talk about this. I can't remember if it was last week before, but I said like they need to dissolve the division. I don't
think they need to dissolve the division. I just think they need to establish it. They need to establish where it's on and what they're doing with it.
Well, if they're going to do that, they need to put. See, I don't know.
I personally would prefer to give it to Heyman, because I think Heyman has a better grasp on the women's division than what Bischoff will.
I think they need to put the women's tag belts on one brand and the cruiserweight belt on another brand if they're going to get rid of 205 Live.
Yeah, which they could, but there's just way too many belts and too little television.
There's just too many belts. Yeah, there is. Well, is there any other news? I can't think of anything.
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. So shall we get on to the task at hand?
Oh yes, come on.
So the G1 Climax is tonight, my friend.
I am extremely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Do you want to get up do you want to talk about some of the matches that you're most looking forward to?
Yeah, definitely. So matches I'm looking forward to. Well, first off, one that's happening tonight is like straight off the bat, Kota Ibushi versus Kenta,
which will be amazing.
That's happening tonight. Like that's going to be insane.
I think that's the one that's kind of slipping under the radar as well, considering they both. This must be the first time they've wrestled.
It's the first time they wrestled in a singles match. They wrestled once in Pro Wrestling Noah in a tag match. It was Ibushi and some other Japanese guy versus Kenta and Naomichi Marufuji, I think. And it was meant to be like one of the best tag matches in history, like of any ever. Like it was meant to be like unbelievable.
Yeah.
But this will be the first time they wrestle in a singles match.
I think like if you look at Block A, you could like Kenta versus anyone there is actually like really appetizing. Like you look at Kenta Tanahashi, Kenta Sanada,
Kenta Okada, Kenta Ospreay, Kenta Zack Sabre Jr.
That's the one I'm really looking forward to, is Kenta Zack Sabre Jr. just to see what they do, because I think that'll be.
Joe, it'll be it'll be the new Bryan Danielson. Do you remember when Kenta and Bryan Danielson wrestled in Ring of Honor, and it was like unbelievable?
Yeah, I hope so. I think it has the potential to be the best match of the whole tournament.
A lot of these matches do. A lot of these matches have to be the best match in the tournament, really. Like, because like another match that I'm really looking forward to, that I think is the match that we are eventually building to at Wrestle Kingdom, is Kota Ibushi versus Kazuchika Okada.
Yeah,
which is happening the final night of Block A.
Yeah, no, like I'm really looking forward to that, and there's a reason it's the final night. I think.
Yeah, no, big time. That's an implication, like, as to what's going to happen.
Yeah. And then on the other side, obviously Moxley, Naito, once they don't kill each other, you look at like
Moxley,
Ishii.
Just to see them fight, just to see them actually like fist fight each other.
Moxley Goto.
Moxley Goto. Just one that even that's like a sleeper that I can't wait for. Jeff Cobb versus Hiroki Goto.
Two big burly men.
Yeah, just two thick boys, just like battling each other. Goto Ishii is one I look forward to every year.
Yeah, they always put on a good match. Moxley Yano is one I'm really looking forward to. Strangely enough, it's like one of my top 3 most looking forward to matches.
Shingo Takagi versus Ishii is going to be another like clothesline mania.
You forget that Jay White's in this bracket as well.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Jay White versus Jon Moxley in an actual knife fight. Just throw each one a blade and just see like who kills who.
I was going through like my schedule. I sound like fucking a high ranking official, but like I was going through my schedule and being like, okay, which ones will I definitely miss? And that match is one that I'm going to definitely miss. White and Moxley, because it takes place on the 4th of August, which is I'm at a festival that weekend. So I was afraid first, because I'm away from the 4th to the 6th, and I was afraid that the final would be on that weekend. And I looked it up and I was like, it goes on for so long.
Yeah, it's the day after SummerSlam.
Which the final?
Finals on. We have we have NXT TakeOver Toronto 2, SummerSlam, and then the G1 finals in 3 days.
Is it on a Monday?
It's on a Monday, yeah.
Oh, that's strange. Do they have a specific date each year?
I think they just map out like 3 weeks or something, like 21 days or something. I'm not sure. I can't tell you, to be honest. Yeah, I know it's strange that it's on a Monday, but like,
I don't think that matters in Japan.
No, everyone's gonna be watching it. I'm not gonna be watching the whole thing live, but I'll just do what I did for the New Japan Cup and the rest of the Super Juniors, and I'll just like when I get home, like because I work in the morning, so like when I get home from work, I'll just watch it that evening and I'll just avoid spoilers.
Yeah, me too. Well, I'll try and watch it live as much as I can, but obviously, life gets in the way. I'm watching live tonight though, so there's a start.
Yeah, me too. Like, Joe, what's a bastard actually is I avoided the entire, like, I did not get one spoiler for the entire best of the Super Juniors up until the final.
The final, yeah, you told me that.
Because I follow Will Ospreay on Instagram, and when I opened up my Instagram, there was a picture of Will Ospreay with the fucking trophy. And I was just like...
Happened to me with the G1 final last year. I was like... I don't know what happened, but I was like... I avoided spoilers all day, but I was like going somewhere afterwards, so I was kind of rushing to watch it. So I didn't bother watching the rest of the card, skipped to the final, skipped too far, and like once I played, it was just a boot or a fucking what's his name? Tanahashi holding the trophy. I was like, for fuck's sake. Like you only just reminded me that there. I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's such a pause going on social media and just seeing something get spoiled, and like I always trying to scroll past it really fast just in case, but Like, oh, it was just, I don't know. I think it's just so annoying.
Yeah.
I was going to say something. I can't remember now. I can't remember. I was going to say something. Yeah. So, oh yeah. No, I can't remember now.
What's wrong with you today?
I think I'm having a stroke.
So for the rest of
I remember. I genuinely remember now. It's so tonight obviously is the first night, it's the opener, and like it's actually kind of good to watch like the full card because it's in America and stuff, they're actually putting on like actually like the whole card is fairly decent, and like one of the matches on the card is something that it's kind of a cool little dream match that you wouldn't have really thought of, and it's the Gorillas of Destiny versus Roppongi 3K. It's the heavyweight tag champs versus the junior heavyweight tag champs.
Yeah, obviously these shows you get a more attraction matches.
Yeah. I can't wait for the final because every time they do like the final of a tournament, there's always like a title match, and there's always something cool there's like there could be like a debut or there's always something. So
yeah, so yeah, it's you always get a surprise. So I'm hoping tonight we get a bit of a surprise. I saw something. I didn't read much into it because when I saw the report, my Wi-Fi wasn't as good, so I didn't click into it. Darby Allin, is he something to do with, or did he sign with New Japan, or did they announce him for dates or something? I thought I read that this morning.
I didn't see anything. As far as I know, he's AEW and no one else.
Well, yeah, but so is John Moxley. I just read something about Darby Allin today, about him wrestling in Japan. I'll check that there 2 seconds.
Okay, I didn't see anything. So. I literally only found out recently that he's a year older than us.
Yeah, he's really super young.
Yeah, and he's like married and stuff. He's married to Priscilla Kelly.
Is he? Is he married to Priscilla Kelly? Oh.
I don't know. I'll check how old she is, but they're like he's like 22. Like it's crazy how young he is. I don't know. Because like especially like he's been wrestling like with Evolve for ages, and Priscilla Kelly is also 22.
No, I can't see nothing. I must have dreamt that.
But yeah, it's crazy how young Darby Allin is.
Yeah, same with him. What's MJF? 23, 22?
MJF's 23.
Yeah, he's someone that's incredibly talented, which is.
There's so many like really young, really good wrestlers. Like you have Darby Allin who's 22. You have MJF is 23. Velveteen Dream is 23 or 24, I think.
Yeah,
Jungle Boy, he's like ridiculously young as well.
Yeah, like it's there is a bright future to it, and now that there's two companies, there's like the world is their oyster, really.
And like it's class seeing that, like going off Fyter Fest last week, like seeing how high AEW are holding Darby Allin in, oh yeah, they clearly value him as like potential like huge megastar.
Yeah.
Which
did we talk? We didn't talk about Fyter Fest since, have we? We didn't do a podcast afterwards.
Genuinely, completely forgot it happened. So,
do you want to talk about it there for a few minutes? Do you want to give me your highlights and low points?
So, yeah, I mean, like it was a good show. It was entertaining. I saw a lot of people shitting on it. I saw a lot of people giving out about it.
I think it just showed that there is still work to be done with AEW.
Yeah, I think like AEW is imperfect,
which is good because like you want to iron out the kinks before you present yourself on national TV.
Yeah, like you need these criticisms to see like where you need to improve. Like I mean, like no company's ever going to be perfect. Like there is no company that is perfect. and like
and
all they can strive to do
judge.
is like
It was hard
like
to
it's
judge
just
because go on.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Go on.
It
was hard.
No, because like you fuck no.
Go on. No, go on.
No.
Okay. What I was gonna say is it's hard to judge because All In
it's trying to be really, really good. Like
we're All In and Double or Nothing were near perfect shows. So it's hard to judge because everyone was coming in being like, "Oh, AEW is going to be the best thing ever." It's going to be good. It's going to be an alternative wrestling promotion, but like, it's not going to be perfect.
No, not by any means. And like, it's, I mean, like you said, I mean, they need to iron out the kinks, and like that's fine.
I think it was more of a wake-up call to those fans. I think this is going to be the answer to all their problems, which it could be.
Yeah, I mean, they need to people need to be realistic as well, because I don't want people to like be like, oh, AEW is going to come out, it's going to blow WWE out of the water, and it's going to be like this new thing that's going to like revolutionize wrestling. I mean, like it'll be good, it'll be different, but yeah, maybe in time, but like you have to take into perspective that it's a brand new company by people who have never ran a wrestling company before, and like, I mean, yes, they have experience in the wrestling business, but they never run a company before.
And you're never going to be successful overnight. It's going to take a while. You're still learning on the job per se. So
but like as Cody says, do the work. Like that's literally his new motto. Like, so, I mean,
and I think that was a learning curve for them, and I think it was good to have that learning curve.
Well, I suppose, and I suppose the biggest talking point, arguably the biggest talking point of the whole show was that chair shot.
Before we talk about that, I just wanted to touch on another thing was the pre-show, which with that match between Michael Nakazawa and the owner of CEO, and I think that's Alex Trebek, whatever his name was. But
Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek is like, that's like some other guy. That's like a comedian or something, I think, isn't it? I don't know.
Fair enough. I don't know. Well, that Alex Trebek or whatever, whoever he was who wrestled Michael Nakazawa might as well have been a comedian. So
Alex Trebek is a Canadian TV presenter.
Okay, I'm sorry to Mr. Alex Trebek. But whoever this guy was, Alex, whoever. Okay. He like it just that type of match is just.
Oh yeah, do you remember Jeopardy?
Yeah, that was him.
He was the guy who hosted Jeopardy.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But
sorry, I'm still on Trebek.
There's a place for that type of match on like bar wrestling. I think it doesn't really translate on a national stage, and I think that's something that you could see it on like an indie show, but like they're gonna have to learn, that like AEW, as much as people kind of want it to be, it's not gonna end up being like an indie show on a big stage. It's just not. It's not how the world works. So like matches like these need to be reined in a bit.
Well, you know what? It could have been okay, but like Jabali didn't sell for Nakazawa at all. But
I just don't understand. There's no structure to it because like this was it was a hardcore match, right?
Yeah.
And then we're supposed to watch that match, and then later on watch the main event, which is the same type match, and treat it like how do we not like call bullshit on that, that like here's John Moxley. I think it took away slightly from the main event having the same type of match as like a comedy aspect, because you have Janela and Moxley breaking each other, and then you saw the same type match with like in a comedy aspect. I don't think hardcore matches should be used for comedy.
They should have called it like a video, like a CEO match or something like that, I just
think like you understand sometimes why Jim Cornette freaks the fuck out of things. I think that was just not to my taste, and I think it's not.
The vast majority of people thought that it was absolute garbage. So
yeah, and I think it's hard. Like I think it shows how bad it was that like people look for reasons to praise AEW, and people could not find good in that. You know.
yeah, I mean, like I thought it sucked, but like I was still entertained by like some bits still made me laugh. Like I can't lie.
Michael Nakazawa is talented. I'll give him that, but like
It was debated. Like he just wouldn't sell for Nakazawa
but
at
like
all.
but the thing is, right? He's not. Like that's not his fault either because he's not a trained wrestler. Like
Tell him that. Tell him that because he seems to fully believe that he is.
Yeah, but you get people like that. But like the difference is you do not give these people the stage. You give that stage to like fucking why couldn't you just put a different capable comedy wrestler out there and get an actual comedy match out of it, you know?
Yeah, I know. Like again, like you said, it's just a learning curve now for AEW.
Yeah, yeah, I know that, yeah, but I there's a reason, and the thing is, right? I have no problem with, and WWE have done it a lot of times where you put a non-trained professional in the ring and get him to have a match, but they never have the match 50-50. They'll always have the wrestler give all of the offense, so or like lead the match, whereas like they were wrestling like 50-50 as if this was fucking like a G1, like both wrestlers are very highly rated, both can sell, both can give offense, you know, like that's not the case here, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely, I know. But like I think come the end of the night anyway, people had long forgotten about this because stuff happened later on in the night that was a lot more memorable. And
Oh yeah, I agree, but like there's you just have to be careful with these where you place this match as well, because like a lot of people who would have been watching that could have been their first introduction to AEW. They might have not seen Double or Nothing. They might have heard about this AEW after Double or Nothing, was curious, tuned into the pre-show, and then saw fucking that garbage. You know,
well, if they tuned in from the start, they would have caught that really cool triple threat
but
tag
not
match.
everyone would have, or everyone would have saw that triple threat tag match, which was excellent, by the way. But like,
yeah, actually, like one of the best matches on the card.
yeah, but like, then you see that, you know, like you're
Yeah,
isolating kind of new fans, because the whole thing, the whole AEW's kind of mission statement was like to bring back the lapsed fan or whatever. And like the lapsed fan is going to look at that and be like, this is the same old bullshit as the way we left, you know? Yeah, exactly. So like, you know,
yeah,
you have to be careful.
you just have to hope that fans aren't so impatient that they'll watch one match and give up.
Yeah, but some people are like that, so you have to.
Yeah,
you have to pick and choose your battles.
Yeah, you do. But anyway, let's talk about that chair shot.
I said my piece on about it on Twitter. That like I don't want to harp on about it again. I don't think there's. Ugly. I don't think. Oh yeah, but I don't think there's a place for an unprotected chair shot in wrestling. I don't think anyone should sanction an unprotected chair shot in wrestling in a post Chris Benoit era, and what we know about CTE now especially. So
what made me uncomfortable was Jim Ross kept saying it. He kept saying coding is I can't help but bring up CTE and all this kind of stuff, and that like coding might need a scan and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, that is.
Yeah, but see JR isn't being produced, and if you, I don't know if you listened to his podcast this week, and like he said that, you know, that was real. Like he doesn't agree with the chair shot to the head, and like that it's like he believes that it shouldn't be a thing in wrestling anymore, and like he had to kind of, everyone was going to talk about the CT anyway, so he kind of had to address it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fair enough. Like, but like, yeah. I mean, you know what though, right? As it was, it shouldn't have happened in my opinion. It was an outdated tactic, but damn it has me hyped for the match. when the match eventually happens, like I'm gonna be buzzing, like because it's gonna be like I'd imagine it's gonna be all out, and like that. I think this will be a really cool match, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just please, no more of that. No more of that.
The only person who I've heard who didn't say a negative thing about the chair shot was Jim Cornette, which is hilarious.
That man is backwards. That man literally.
He said that he had no problem with the chair shot to the head. What he had a problem with was that they didn't turn it into an angle and be like that fucking Sean Pierce went into an angle or went into business for himself or whatever. He said the problem he had was that the Young Bucks were out there afterwards being like, "Oh, we gimmicked the chair." It's like you just have to.
He just looks for reasons to just shit on the Young Bucks.
Yeah. I listened to his review about it, and he spoke very highly of MJF, and he has been for a long time now. And he praised Scorpio Sky as well. Said that he's the future of wrestling. Yeah.
Future wrestling, he's like 35 years old.
I know, but I don't think Jim knew that. Well, in fairness, if you look at Christopher Daniels was 35 years old 15 years ago. So there's like career to be had with Scorpio Sky.
That's true. It's true, I guess. What else happened on Fyter Fest? We had there was, of course, Moxley versus Janela,
which was just.
If you want to know what hardcore match should be, that's.
It was brilliant. It was brutal. It was, it took years off both their lives, and that's what a hardcore match should be. Strangely enough, but the only thing that and it's no one's fault really. It's the only thing that I didn't like was that there was no real story to it. And obviously you can't tell that story. Like when I was watching the match, I get that like they're just two nutcases, but like I would have liked for them to have a reason to be fucking taking off like each other's shoes and shoving their feet into thumbtacks. I would like if there had been an actual issue there, which there wasn't. But like Moxley's only ever made one appearance with AEW beforehand, so like it's I know it was hard in that sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was still. I thought.
It was still a fantastic match. I'm not criticizing the match. I just I would like a story there, but like obviously, you can't tell a story like that, and you needed a way to establish Jon Moxley. So this is probably the best way of doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I just can't wait to see more Moxley.
Yeah. I feel like we're going to get Moxley Havoc soon as well.
Well, they brought that up during the match that they brought it up during the match that like they now have in AEW Jon Moxley, Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin, and Joey Janela, and it's like we have like the four sickest bastards in wrestling. And you see the newest match that got announced for Fight for the Fallen.
No.
It's a 6-man tag team match. On one team, you have MJF, Sammy Guevara, and Sean Spears taking on the team of Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela. And it's like that team is already more extreme than the entire Extreme Rules card.
Yeah, that's true.
So that match sounds like it's gonna be really fun, to be honest.
It will be. It'll be interesting to see them as a team. See what they break out.
Because like I promise you, like on the night, they'll just bust out like a no holds barred gimmick or something, and like all hell's gonna break loose. But anyway, back to the G1. what's going to be match of the night tonight? So we've got Will Ospreay versus Lance Archer. We've got Sanada versus Zack Sabre Jr. We've got Evil versus Bad Luck Fale, Kota Ibushi versus Kenta, and Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada.
Tanahashi and Okada always have a good match. I know Tanahashi is, a bit beat down now, but he always seems to bring it when it's Okada. I've no doubt that will be up there.
It'll be strange this time because this is going to be their first match where they've been friends. Like they've been they've always been enemies and rivals and stuff, and there's always been like more or less a clear heel face dynamic between them. And like their last meeting was just because if Okada was looking to break the defense record, and that record was held by Tanahashi, so the story was there. But this time it's just like they're actually like they've been tag team partners since. So like it's gonna be interesting now to see what they do now this time.
Yeah, but they always do have a good match. One I'm looking forward to as well, just to see the dynamic of how it works, is Will Ospreay versus Lance Archer.
They already wrestled.
I've heard that, but I've actually never seen the match.
It's good.
It's a good match. I'm just interested in seeing that match myself.
No, it was a good match. It was super impressive because Ospreay got Archer up for the Stormbreaker and hit it. So it was kind of like a rope assisted one. Like he got Archer on the top rope and then picked him and then lifted him up from there rather than like hoist him himself. So, but he still held him and walked him into the middle of the ring and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Okay. I'm just really interested in seeing. I love watching Will Ospreay wrestle big men, like big tall men.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see who Ospreay beats because, like, obviously he's the junior heavyweight champion, but
I think he'll win tonight.
He win tonight, I think. Yeah, I think he'll beat Fale as well.
Beat who? Sorry.
Bad Luck Fale. I think he'll beat Fale.
Yeah.
I think they're two guaranteed wins for him. I think Fale and Archer will be like the two lowest scores of the block.
Yeah.
And other than that, I don't know who he's going to beat because I think every other match after that is like up in the air. I think he might be Zack Sabre Jr. Which would set up like a British heavyweight title match.
That could be. I'm looking forward to that match. I always love when they wrestle.
I think
who's Zack Sabre Jr. wrestling in tonight? Did you say Sanada? Is it?
Yeah,
that'll be a good match.
They wrestled in last year's G1, and it was really good.
I remember it, Chad. But they'll be any match. I don't think I've ever seen Zack Sabre Jr. have a bad match really.
He's just consistently entertaining. Do you know what'll be interesting actually? How they follow up on the Minoru Suzuki storyline.
Yeah.
Because because obviously everyone was like the big omission from the tournament this year was Suzuki, and Suzuki they've turned it into a storyline because Suzuki has been calling out New Japan officials saying like, you're just scared I'm going to beat the shit out of Okada and like kill your champion and all this kind of stuff. Like,
yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see like how it follows up.
How I do it, I don't know if it's within the way New Japan do things. How I do it is I'd have Zack Sabre Jr. be on the cusp of getting to the final, and then have Suzuki come out and cost him. And
I feel like that's
set up. Yeah, because I really want to see that match and set that up for Wrestle Kingdom. Then
Yeah, definitely. Because it feels like Zack and Taichi are becoming like the new leaders of Suzuki Gun.
Yeah,
and like. I can't I want to see I think Suzuki can afford to I mean he's 51, so he can afford to take a step back,
he can afford to not wrestle 21 times in 3 weeks. He can afford to not go through this grueling thing again.
So I'm excited. I'm also excited to see who Kenta loses to. Obviously, because he's just fresh into the company. I don't think he's going to win it, so I'm interested to see who he loses to.
I would imagine he will lose. He will lose to Ibushi tonight. I would imagine he will lose to. He'll lose to Okada. He will, and he lose. I think he might lose to Tanahashi.
I think this year, the ball prediction for this year is I think Tanahashi will have like an all-time low for points because I think they're going to play up that he's he's on the way out. So I think he's going to like lose,
which is
like a lot.
You know how like it's strange because I get they're doing like he's on the way out thing, but like, are we just forgetting that he beat Kenny Omega on the 4th of January, like literally 6 months ago?
Yeah, but like
for the title,
since then he's had like 2 injuries, I think. So they're like,
yeah,
like he had one last rally last year when he won the G1 and then won the title, but then he lost the title like a month later, and then has had like 2 surgeries since, and has lost like every big since. So
yeah. It's like it'll be an interesting one to see. I suppose we'll see how it plays out tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's winning.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I suppose tonight is probably not the best way of looking at it because he's going to lose to Okada. Who does Okada lose to? Is the question.
Ibushi, I think Ibushi beats him. Just sowing that seed, that Ibushi can beat him. I think he'll have to lose to someone else because like usually what the norm is for the G1 is they'll have champ lose like 1 or 2 times just to set up future matches like for between now and Wrestle Kingdom. So I think he'll lose one more. I think Kenta might beat him.
He could, yeah. Now that you mention it, he could. I think Okada will beat Ibushi. I think that'll be Ibushi's only last the entire tournament.
Yeah, but then if that's the case, he's losing on the final day and going into the final off loss.
Yeah. Is it the last day Okada Ibushi?
It's on the last day of Block A, like yeah.
Yeah. See, I think he's losing one match. I think Ibushi's losing one match, but I just don't know who.
He could lose tonight.
Yeah.
Establish Kenta as an immediate threat. Like
he could lose to Ospreay.
Again. I think he beats Ospreay because I think he'll just get his revenge for Wrestle Kingdom, and then you can set up like next year at some point they'll wrestle again probably, like with Ospreay as a heavyweight, and like have them at 1 apiece, and then like you could have like I think Ibushi's winning the whole thing, and I think Ibushi's going to take.
I agree. I think Ibushi's winning the whole thing.
I think Ibushi's going to win the title of Wrestle Kingdom, and let's make the main event of Dominion next year, Ibushi versus Ospreay 3.
Yeah, I could see that. Like I'm just trying to think who. I'm still trying to think who beats Okada.
I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be Evil because they did that already. It won't be Sanada because they've had a feud already this year. I think it could be Kenta. I really do.
What about Zack Sabre Jr.?
Maybe. Who else is in the block? I can't remember. Like they might just put out a shocker and like have like Archer beat him or something. Like it might just like, they're not like, I mean, like I said, they had Evil do it 2 years ago. Evil like beat Okada, like in the G1. Everyone was like, "Holy shit!" Like that actually just happened.
That was like the only time, or he only lost to Evil and Kenny Omega that entire year or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, in that G1, like yeah.
Yeah, they could just they could pull. I suppose they could do it like completely out of the blue and like a Lance Archer beat him or something,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like it's obviously interesting. We'll just obviously have to wait and see and play it out. Like I'm still like waiting for the time when a champion actually wins like one of these tournaments and picks his opponent, because that's a storyline that they like has been rarely used, and like could be good, like
Yeah, I don't like the aspect of having the champion in a tournament. I think like you have enough. You have enough people. Like Suzuki could easily be in this tournament, and you could easily have Okada out of this. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ask you. We talked through Block A. I'm just gonna ask you a few questions about Block B and what you think. Who's gonna win Block B?
Jay White.
Jay White.
Played.
Who do you think beats John Moxley?
Juice Robinson. I think Juice beats him. I think Naito beats him. I think Ishii might beat him. And Jay White.
So you think he's losing 4 times?
Well, like that, I can't see him. Like if he loses 4 times and wins the rest, he still gets 10 points.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he'll get a big win. Because I think you're not giving him any real big win there if you're.
I'm only like taking into consideration, right, that like Moxley is probably not going to be wrestling for New Japan that much longer.
Oh, but I'm not saying he's going to win it, but like I'm saying they probably I would imagine he will still get a notable win.
Well, like let's who else is in that block? He's going to beat Yano, presumably.
Yeah.
He's going to beat Goto. He's going to beat Cobb. He's going to beat Taichi. He's going to beat who else is in that block?
Takagi, Shingo Takagi. I think he beats Naito.
I don't know. I think Naito is going to have a fairly good run because like his whole storyline this year has been he wants to be the first ever dual champion to have the heavyweight and IC titles. That like now that he's IC champion, like it's gonna be like he's gonna win a lot. I think the only people to beat Naito are I think White beats him. And I think he'll lose one other time to like a potential challenger. I don't know who. Maybe Moxley. He might do it. I don't know.
Maybe Shingo Takagi as well.
Maybe. I can't see Shingo winning that much though.
Yeah.
Like I could see Ospreay and Shingo having like the same amount of points in both blocks because they're the juniors coming into the heavyweight division kind of thing. Like
Yeah, I think Takagi gets away with it though because he's bigger. You're gonna forget that he's a junior. Well, he technically probably isn't, but I think he beats. I think you give him a big win there, and I think Naito is probably the best way of doing it, and he sets up then a fresh challenger for Naito.
For who? Who's beats him?
Takagi.
Oh, maybe. I mean, maybe sow the seeds for Ascension in LIJ. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So, it's gonna be interesting.
Who's gonna be the breakout? Last year, you could probably argue was probably Hangman Page, in more so of like a rookie guy having a decent showing. Who do you think it'll be this year? Excluding Kenta, because Kenta doesn't count.
Excluding Kenta. I think the breakout star, controversial one. I think it might be Taichi.
Okay.
Because
I'd probably say Ospreay because they're going to give him a big showing, and he is probably one of the top 3 wrestlers in the world. So like, I would imagine that he will, if he doesn't kill himself halfway through it, I think he will probably have the best matches, like overall.
Yeah. Like, he's probably going to be like the best. Like, you know what? For the PWA 500 next year, he's probably going to get number 1.
Ospreay.
Yeah.
Well, if he has a good showing here, then definitely. I can't see why not.
Yeah. Like, the only thing is,
the most.
The same thing is, like, Taichi is like, Taichi's 39. So,
yeah, to call him a breakout star is.
Yeah. But I think more people realize like how good of a wrestler he is. I don't know.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to call this year because, as in, who's going to be the breakout? Because they're all pretty much established on New Japan TV this year. They've done a good job of booking a lot of these people, so it's going to be hard to call. Obviously, Kenta and Moxley are the 2 that haven't been on TV as much, obviously, because they weren't with the company up until 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, but I'm interested to see.
Quiet. Be quiet, yeah. Stop fucking. She keeps at me. Mom, fuck off. Excuse me. Shut up. Tell him to take the dog. Go downstairs. Swear to God. Every fucking week. No, let's get him up for so downstairs. Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Like Block B is a lot harder to call than Block A, you know, because like Block B have way more people of like kind of lower down the card.
Yeah, it's like there is a divide there. I think the winner is coming from Block A. Even if it's not Ibushi. But it's there is a divide there, like.
Yeah, no, definitely there is. Yeah. Big time. No, big time there is, yeah.
So we look at it's an interesting one to call. Like the whole Block B situation. Like like it's good because they're all kind of at the same level, but arguably kind of Naito, Jay, but every other match is kind of hard to call in between everyone else who falls under that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know who's winning, to be honest. It's hard to call, like, it really is. It's hard to call every year.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, it is definitely.
And it starts in literally a half an hour.
Yeah.
So do we have any more to get into, or is that it?
No, that's it.
So we leave it there. So I hope I hope this G1 Climax will be a good as good as last year anyway.
Yeah, it will.
Obviously they're like without Kenny Omega and the likes, it's going to be kind of a battle for him to put on as good of a show as last year when you're minus the best wrestler in the world. But hopefully the likes of Will Ospreay and stuff will step up and try and fill the void that Kenny left.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, hopefully, like, they will too. Like, I mean, there's a gap to be filled, and like people will fill it. Like,
yeah. So before we go, do you want to talk about what's upcoming in the next week or so for the podcast? We have decided to expand and get back into more retro reviews. The reverse review we used to do at the start of our podcast, and it was in our older days. Those who've been with us from day one, and like it was a lot. It was very fun to look back on older wrestling. So I think we're gonna go back and do it as a separate podcast, but this time it'll be a watch along. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, should be good.
We put up a poll, and we asked you, the people, to vote on what will be our first inaugural episode for this watch along. And do you want to tell them what won?
Yeah, it's going to be WWE Invasion 2001. So the big pay-per-view that WWE and WCW and ECW all collaborated on, and it's the highest rated pay-per-view of all time.
The highest bought pay-per-view of all time, which, you know, for the WWE in its long history is an amazing statistic. There's lots of, you know, hearsay about the invasion and what could have been with it. We'll get into a lot of that as we're watching it, I'm sure. Do you want me to run down the card for you to refresh your mind if you haven't looked at it already?
No, go on.
2 seconds. So we started off, and I watched a bit of it today just to get a feel for it again. It was a tag team match. It was Lance Storm, Mike Awesome versus Edge and Christian. Then this match I'm really excited to cover and watch along with you. It's WWE official Earl Hebner taking on WCW official Nick Patrick with special guest referee Mick Foley.
Yeah, that's just everything you want, really.
Are you excited?
Yeah, kind of a 5-star classic, really.
The APA take on Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hare. Billy Kidman defeats X-Pac, he takes on X-Pac. He defeats him too, I think. But
this is a spoiler.
Well, it happened like 18 years ago. But that's actually a sleeper match.
Billy Gunn versus X-Pac.
Billy Kidman versus X-Pac.
Oh, Kidman for it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Kidman. Raven versus William Regal's on the card. Chris Kanyon, Hugh Morris, and Sean Stasiak of the Alliance will take on Albert Big Show and Billy Gunn. There's a mouthful. Tajiri will take on Taz. One fighting for WCW, one fighting for the WWF, even though they're both famous for being in ECW, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Rob Van Dam versus Jeff Hardy in a hardcore match, which will be interesting. Trish Stratus and Lita take on Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler in a tag team bra and panties match, with Mick Foley doing special guest refereeing in that as well. He definitely earned his money that night. And then the main event, the WCW and ECW coalition, consisting of Booker T, Bubba Ray Dudley, DDP, Devon Dudley, and Rhino, will take on Chris Jericho, Kane, Kurt Angle, Steve Austin, and The Undertaker. So it's an interesting one. Obviously, it's a topic that's always talked about when it comes to what could have been and maybe what should have been in the wrestling business. So I'm interested into watching it and breaking down what happened and what could have happened, and
Yeah. No,
it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to pick out why people bought this pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it will be.
So
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Tune in to at some stage next week. We will be back to talk about all the current events next week, and we'll be breaking down all the wrestling that's happening all next weekend, which is a lot. And we will talk about the events of tonight and the rest of the G. Well, it's only tonight by the time next week comes along of the G1. So stay tuned for that, as well as the Invasion watch along pay-per-view.
Yeah, no problem. So everyone, tune in, enjoy the wrestling because there's a lot of it, and yeah, stay tuned.